guys, we're starting off today by grabbing the keys to this epic looking Focus. Literally, I love the look of this thing. It's so Btcc. The graphics and everything around it with the BYC wing on the back looks so good. So thank you very much to Simon for letting me take the keys to his Focus today. We're going to take this on a cruise with another Mondo just in the background there with the lads in it. We're going to go and have a good laugh down some epic roads. Go and enjoy this thing and see what it's made of, because I have not videoed this shape Focus in such a long time, and especially one with, you know, this sort of power, the MR 300 kit, and you know, this styling with a big wing on the back. I really want to see what it's like to drive. Let's get on the road, let's go and find some awesome roads and enjoy this car. Okay, so the first thing I've pretty much found out about this Focus is turn off the ESC. So hold that down for about 4 or 5 seconds and we're off. That turns off electronic stability control, which is great in these, don't get me wrong, but the owner Simon has told me to take it off because it's a lot more fun. It's a little bit more of a handful. You get a squeal from the front end and a bit more of an old school torque steer from this car. So first thing I'm going to do is do that. One of the things I have to point out about this one is the Btcc, you know, British touring car look to this is exactly why I wanted to take it. The big wing, which I'm going to asphyx on quite a couple of times in this shoot, is one of those things I haven't seen on a Focus. I think BYC especially, if I do remember correctly, started with Honda Civic stuff. So, you know, they've ventured out into other models, other cars, and this one is sporting one of their pretty big wings on the back of it, and I think it looks so good sat on the back of this. It sort of makes the wrap as well really in keeping with the look and the sort of theme of a British touring car. That coupled with the supporting mods, this having the MR 300 kit on it. Touching on the first couple of bits, you know, it's got a comfy interior. This has the leather interior, heated seats as well, so it's very comfortable. These ST seats, I've always been a big fan of the ST interior, but especially, you know, this spec with the leather seat. Now, it has been a while since I've driven one of these, and I forgot how good they were, how much value for money you actually get with these new Focuses. Okay, so it just started raining and I completely forgot that these do the wipers like that. Not like a conventional wiper, but at the sides. And I got well confused when it started going. I was just like, oh yeah, I realised that the wipers do that instead of like the normal way. One thing though, the wipers on these are very, very good. I'm genuinely impressed with the wipers. Something that a normal, you know, shoot that I would do, I wouldn't really notice how good the wipers were. But these are very, very good. I'm very impressed. See, it's that buying knowledge you need when you're thinking of buying, you know, hot hatch of this sort of price. You need to know how good the wipers are if you are going to use it every day. Now, unfortunately, we are going to be shooting part of this in the rain, which does actually make it that bad. It squirrels a little bit from the front end. I do have the traction control off on this one. There's a little bit of a squirrel from the front end, nothing too major, nothing to write home about. This is also sat on the Mount Tune springs with the 18-inch by 9-inch Team Dynamic wheels. It's a quite cool setup on this one, very touring car-like. I do quite like the characteristics of this car. I didn't feel it in the last one, but it's got a slight old school feel. And whether this is a good or a bad thing, I am slightly waiting for boost in a way. And I know that sounds really weird in like a brand new car with mods and stuff, but it's got the characteristics of an older, you know, 80s, 90s generation performance Ford. You are waiting a little bit for a fight of, you know, a bit of torque steer, a bit of boost. I quite enjoy that. I don't really, I know it sounds really stupid, I don't really want anything instant in my Fords. I want there to be a slight fight from the front end. I know a lot of people may not understand that, but I actually do quite enjoy the fact that you're not necessarily waiting for the boost, but when it does come in, there's a lot of surge and you are fighting that steering wheel to keep the car in the middle of the road, and I do genuinely quite enjoy that part.
Never been here.
Because it is actually chucking it down with rain now. I am completely soaked, as you can see, lads in the background there in the Mondeo. We're going to make our way back down to some awesome roads now. Hopefully this rain stops, because it is not necessarily ruining the shoot, but I want to have a bit more fun in this car. I'm really starting to enjoy myself in this thing. This is the point where I scrape his front. Hopefully it doesn't. It's going to scrape. It's not going to scrape. Oh, it didn't scrape. It didn't scrape. Have a go at turning round, mate. Have a go. Probably one of the lowest Mondeos I've ever seen in my entire life, and he's scrubbing and scratching literally everything on the way here. Looks sick though. Proper sick car. Yeah, he's just having a bit of trouble there, as you can see. Look at it. Oh, look at it touching. Oh no. Oh, it won't focus. No. It's touching. Oh, he's done well there. Well done, lad. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love this bit of road. As you guys may know, I've taken a few cars down this stretch, and where it's single track and the flowers each side, it just looks so good. And you've got that view, sort of like the south of France. I'm gonna say it looks like the south of France, just out the window. They're a bit murky today, but you guys get the gist. But this road, oh, the fact that I've taken so many different cars down here now makes it all the better. And although I've been driving this car very enthusiastically, you have to, you know, when I get a chance to drive something as cool looking and as, you know, well spec'd as this one, I try to drive it, you know, as enthusiastically as I want to. We're still retaining 24.6 mpg on this run, on this shoot. I can't believe that. I've been enjoying myself in this thing, yet it's still getting, you know, what is 25 mpg. So you can really enjoy these things, beat the living crap out of it if you really want to, and it still retain a fantastic mpg number. That is some good going from Ford. What I also love is the Mount Tune boost gaugey thingy. I'm sure it has a really cool name, but that's what I'm going to call it today, the boost gauge thingy. But it tells you your boost pressure here live right in front of the driver. That little fight from the front end. I love it. It's so much fun. Short shifter as well, Mount Tune short shifter. So direct. And I remember from my previous experience in one of these STs and driving, you know, another completely standard one, this gearbox is really nice. It's nice and notchy, but if you put the Mount Tune short shifter on one of these, it shows a completely different side to the gear change. And I know that sounds really minuscule, but the fact that you're able to blip so quickly and click it into gear makes the driving experience, you know, you come to an S-bend, you drop it into third, that clickiness and dropping of that short shift up into fourth, there's so much feel just in the short throw of that gear stick. I do really enjoy this thing though. The comfort level is exactly where I want it to be. The feel of this car as well is something that I didn't experience in the previous one, you know, with it not having such wider wheel and tyres on it. This one, you know, being 9J with a wider Avon tyre on it. And the tyre stickers, shout out to tyre stickers, they look so good. It actually says Focus ST around the tyre on this, you know, not branding the tyres at all. You can really enjoy this thing. and there isn't a limit, you know. I don't think it's that hard to go fast in one of these. I do constantly keep on looking down and thinking, whoa, we're going that fast around that corner. It's a very safe way, and a comfy way especially. Now, I know you guys want me to focus a little bit more on, you know, I would say the negative stuff when I am in one of these cars. The only negative thing would be maybe depreciation on one of these. If you are going to buy a relatively new one, you are going to see some sort of depreciation like you do with any other car. And although it's not really a downfall, but I do think everybody should go and get the Android screen for the center of this. Although the original one is very good, I much prefer this aftermarket unit. So maybe the standard screen in the middle isn't as good as I wanted it to be, but the aftermarket one that's been put in this is a fantastic feature. Your aftermarket stuff and the Ford community behind these cars is so big as well. There is a lot of second-hand parts. If you're willing to modify yours in any way, there will be second-hand parts readily available. And that's another thing I want to take away from this experience. You know, this is the takeover weekend, and I've drove, you know, a couple of cars, as you have seen, throughout this week, and I've enjoyed every single one. But the defining factor was the Ford community behind each of these cars. They're real life enthusiasts. They've made serious friendships throughout the UK with their Fords, with, you know, going to shows, swapping out parts, buying bits and bobs off people. There is such a big community when it comes with these cars. So if you are into this community and you do realise exactly how big and how friendly it is as well compared to maybe other communities, you know, VW side and maybe some of the Japanese side, there is a big void in the whole thing. This is just a big friend group that all like to have a laugh, all like to go out, and all like to enjoy their cars at the same time. And that's the biggest thing I want to take away from this shoot, and especially the shoots that I've done this week and the takeover itself, is the community is so big and it's so good. And I've got to thank the Ford community for being so positive in a world full of hatred, especially in the cars community. I've been through, you know, many different car communities in my time, and this Ford community especially is the best one.